Debo says you had me at Chattanooga. What's happening, guys? How's it going? Let me just move this slightly. Can I move this slightly? Okay, that's a little better. All right. What's happening? Hello, everyone. What's happening? Got Janice, Anna, Sarah's there, Anna, Jeff is there, Curly Q is there, Hippie Long is there, Denise is there from Texas, moderating, Linda's there, Linda votes yes, Rick Hoppy is there, hello Hafsa, Marisol is there, Lauren is there, Nicole Wilson is there, Mayor is there. Is it Bedhead? No. I just worked out and took a shower. Darcy Ann, Craig, Jeff. Cameron, I've been to Nashville before. Go now before Atlanta locks down again. Audra's there, Linda Lee's there, Pam is there. Happy birthday, Detector Steve. Maybe if you wait, I'll explain. People are like, why do you want to go? Sharon votes no. Well, we'll talk, we're going to discuss it. We're going to discuss it. It's not my birthday. It's one of the viewers' birthdays. Hello, Jeff. Hey, Mark Helton is moderating. Stephen, I've been to Louisville. Diane Wilkins is there. Bev Moeller is there. What's happening, everyone? All right, letting people join the stream. Tom Jenkins. Sonic thinks it looks like a nice city. Dan M.I. says, I live outside Knoxville. You should go. Caddo win. No, I'm not buying a house. Buying a house? What a ridiculous suggestion. What a ridiculous suggestion. Don't even know where I'm going to be in a year. Come on, seriously. It's ridiculous. Denise, yeah, I mean, you know, once in a while, if you want to post a message about it on the the mods can post a message about this on the Facebook, saying I have another channel. I sometimes message it during the broadcast. I'll try to bring it up more. I forget to mention it on the Agenda Free TV broadcast. But feel free to let people know in the Facebook chat that there's this other channel. Christopher Lund said, I reported my neighbor again today for noise. Noisy neighbor. Terrible. I feel sorry for you. There's this weird thing going on where for the last week, at night, I hear what sounds like a giant subwoofer, and I can't figure out where it's coming from. It doesn't seem like it's coming from the building. I've walked up and down the hall, I've walked on the floor below me and above me, and I don't hear anyone playing super loud music. I don't know, maybe it's someone outside who has like a crazy, insane sound system. But it's weird, like for the last few nights, just for like a couple hours sometimes, I'll hear this, it just sounds like a subwoofer. and I don't like it almost sounds like, or somebody has like a giant TV system with a subwoofer and they're like listening to like loud movies or something, but I can't hear anything more specific. It's definitely a subwoofer sound and I do not know where it's coming from. Could be somebody the next block over. Now, you know, sometimes people have cars around here. Once in a while, people have these crazy sound systems on cars, and you can hear them from a long way away. But I don't know. It sometimes it goes on for a while, and I just can't figure it out. It's also weird that it's several days in a row. Jeff says low bass travels. Okay, let's start. 404 not found says very hard to pinpoint bass non-directional. Oh, I have a white noise machine. I'm just, if I have the window open, I like to keep the window open when it's summer. All right. Well, let's start this thing. So it is, what time is it? 10:13 p.m. Eastern Time. So we are here. Yeah, Chris Lund is having neighbor problems with music. We are here doing a live stream. Thank you for joining our live stream. And so if you've watched the streams, you know that I'm strongly considering moving. Something would have to happen for me not to move. This place has been good for the 2 years, but it's too expensive now. I need to move somewhere else. I want to change too. I want to change from Atlanta. My number one choice is Florida, maybe Orlando, just so it's warmer. But you know, I'm looking around at a couple places. Also, it's good to have a backup. What happens if the coronavirus stuff gets truly insane in Florida, right? That could happen. Maybe I decide I don't want to go to Florida. So it's good to have a backup, I think. And so in my mind, a backup has been Chattanooga. One, because cost of living is less there. Two, because they have excellent internet in Chattanooga. They have amazing citywide internet. Pretty much every house has amazing citywide internet in it. And I got to have really good internet. So anyways, my thought was that tomorrow, what I was thinking of doing tomorrow is I would drive to Chattanooga and I would look at a couple places, but not really with the intention of taking anything right away, but seeing what's out there. And also, so look at a couple places, but really also look at the neighborhoods too, because I've only spent about 3 hours there and I really was only downtown and I didn't really look at the neighborhoods. So I'm thinking tomorrow of driving to Chattanooga and really just spending the day there and just driving around to different neighborhoods and see what they're like and try to get the vibe. Because maybe I'll like it or maybe I'll say, whoa, this is not for me. I kind of feel like if I have it on my list of options, I should at least maybe go there and either confirm it or eliminate it as an option. It's only 2 hours away. It's only a 2-hour drive away. Now, the negative is that, well, obviously, if I go there, I can't be covering news here. So inevitably, I'll go, and there'll be some big news event I can't cover. But it is what it is. Also, though, I figure, I'll go. What'll happen is I'll go, and, someone will bump into me on the highway, and they'll, smash my front light, and I'll have to get it fixed, and, it'll be, all of this nonsense I have to deal with for taking this trip. I could just not go. Somebody might say, well, if your first choice isn't Chattanooga, why not just not go there until you have to go? You don't have to go now, especially if it's not your first choice. So just wait. Now, on the other hand, I'll say this: I actually think it'd be fun to go there and check it out. I think it'd be fun to go to this city. Take a drive. I never take a day off, in that sense. And so I think, and by the way, I probably would do a live stream when I was there on this channel. So I'd still be working, but, these are my thoughts on the matter. So anyways, Misha says, don't drink yourself. Thanks, Misha. You might have jinxed me by saying that. Thank you, Misha. And thank you also to John Paul Mahovsky. Thank you, John Paul. The origins of mini golf, or the fun version at least, started in Chattanooga. That's what John Paul says. I didn't know that. I had no idea. Rent a car? No, frugal, I'm not. For somebody who's supposed to be frugal saying rent a car, no, if I go, I'm going to take my car. Let's see. Darian says you'll never know if it's a good backup unless you go. Sooner the better. I do think there's something to be said for it. I do think there's something to be said for knowing if it's a good backup or not. Nicole says, I think it's better to know if you should keep it as an option or not. Oh, and now let me add something else here too. There's another reason I kind of want to go. This is kind of important actually. I think, as weird as this sounds, it'll help me in the process. I think going and looking at some places and looking at neighborhoods will just kind of, I don't know, it's just this thing where I feel like doing something, being a little proactive, will kind of help me mentally with the whole process of figuring out what I'm doing. That might sound weird, but really all I've been doing is like sitting here looking at ads, online pretty much. Like I haven't been looking at anything. And part of me thinks that there might be something good about just going and looking at something somewhere. And also maybe that gets me a little more focused on what I want and don't want. So it's just a thought I had. Oh, thank you, Denise F. Denise F said a little help on the gas money. That's very kind of you, Denise F. Thank you. Let me take some comments from you guys and see what you're saying. It's me, Emily says, do it. You will enjoy the drive. Nice, mellow city. Grab a bite and coffee at Milk and Honey. Well, I'm not going in. I'm not sitting down anywhere. If I get food anywhere, I'm getting it to go. Believe me, I'm isolating myself. But thank you, Emily. Yeah, no, I walk around North Shore. I'm looking at the North Shore. That's one of the areas I'm looking at. Let's see here. Dog Lounge says, escape Atlanta, but don't make the mistake of going too far south to Florida. Polly, hey, thank you, Polly. That's very kind of you. Now, Polly says there are a ton of reasons you could come up with not to go. Do it. You'll feel better once you go. Yeah, I think, again, it's not my top choice. But I do think maybe as part of the process, it wouldn't be the worst thing to go. Arizona Jumper says you have to start somewhere so you have something to compare to. I think that's a good point too. Like suppose I go there. Thank you, Arizona Jumper, by the way, for your support. I appreciate that. Suppose I go to Chattanooga tomorrow and I really don't like it, right? Suppose I really don't like it. Then maybe if I look somewhere else, I might like that other place more because I've compared it to Chattanooga. Or, for all you know, there's something I see in Chattanooga I like, which I'm looking for in somewhere else. Oh, again, so what we're talking about is, I am planning on moving from Atlanta by November. My first choice is Florida, probably Orlando, assuming things don't go absolutely insane and keep going insane with the coronavirus. But a backup choice I've had in my mind is Chattanooga. But I've never really spent significant time there. So my question is, I was thinking of tomorrow just going and taking the day and driving there and looking at a couple places, but more importantly, getting a feel for the place, looking at some different neighborhoods, feeling what the vibe is and feeling out, does this feel like a viable alternative? Now, a big downside of Chattanooga, which I won't see tomorrow, is, compared to Florida, is there's winter there, which there really isn't in Florida. So I understand that. It's a little bit colder than Atlanta. So I'm getting your takes on what you guys think. Let me know at Lookner. Oh, thank you, Bev Moeller. Thank you, Bev. Bev says, I think it's a good idea for you to go. This will be a good start. Here's a little more to help with the gas fund. That's very kind of you. Thank you, Bev. Xander says, impulse relocations rarely work out. Take your time and do the research. Yeah, I mean, I know what you're saying. I think, there's no harm in going places and looking. Snip Chick says you need to see what you don't want as much as you need to see what you do want. Helpful to make a decision. Kimberly says, what about Savannah, Georgia? I've looked into some different towns in Georgia. Either they don't have the right internet or they're not right for various reasons. I'm not going to get into all that now. I have a certain list of things I want. And so let's not right now get really into other cities, because that's a whole different discussion. We've discussed that before. But it's a bit of a distraction, so. And to remind you, my list includes has to have fiber speed gig internet both up and down from a reliable provider, which really narrows it down, because that's basically Google Fiber, AT&T Fiber, or a city having its own really good internet. That's it. Or Fios, which is in the Northeast, but pretty much not in the South. So it's got to be, I'm looking for my own house, not part of a townhouse, not part of a duplex. I'm looking for something not somewhat close to a city, somewhat close. I don't want to be in a suburb, because I don't want to be driving everywhere at 15 minutes, because I need to be home to cover news if need be. So I don't want to avoid long drives everywhere. I don't want to be somewhere really cold. There's that. And it's got to be near a grocery store and some places where I can get food. There's a lot of restrictions. It's a lot of things. Hey, thanks, by the way, to Pinochet. Oh, for the corn fund. Pinochet, I'll have you know, look what I have in here. Look what I have. I got some corn. Pinochet, I used your last corn fund money to buy some corn. Thank you, Pinochet from Canada. I still have to steam the broccoli, too. I haven't done that yet. Maybe we'll do it tonight, maybe not. We'll see. We'll see how this stream goes. Thank you, Pinochet. That's very kind of you. I want to read some more comments from you guys. Why leave Atlanta? My place is too expensive. I want to change. I'd go to Florida over Atlanta because I don't like the cold. But even if I don't go to Florida, I want to change. I've been here 3 years. Enough. Dog Lounge TV thinks Orlando's a tourist disaster. Well, I'm not thinking of going to like a tourist area. I'm thinking about going to the area like where the town, the city is. Let's see here. Matt Danger says Boston is nice. Way too cold. Okay, let's see. Danielle M says if you don't like it, you can rule it out quickly. The other thing is this, remember, though. The other thing is this, is that at a certain point, there's only so much you could tell. Like, honestly, I could end up a lot of places and be fine. Because at a certain point, a lot of your enjoyment of a place has to do with the people you interact with there. You know, a bit, and making connections with people there, and that can happen anywhere. So, I've been thinking about this lately, which is I don't know if you guys watch the show The Incredible Dr. Pol, which is a fantastic show. It's a veterinarian reality show. But Dr. Pol is an example of it's done somewhere in Michigan, like in rural Michigan. And that's an example of a place where normally I'd say, oh, that wouldn't work for me. It's like way too rural and stuff, and like I'd be bored. But you watch the show, and you see like what's going on at the veterinary office, and it's super interesting. Like there's all these really smart people working there, and they, and you see what's going on with people farming, and it's really interesting, and like. But if you weren't gonna watch the interactions in the show, and if you just looked at the shot, the outside shot of the veterinary office, for example, you'd be like, look at it, it's like this rickety one-story building in the middle of nowhere. What's exciting about that? But you watch the show and you're like, oh, that's a really cool office. There's all these smart people in there and they're doing all this stuff every day. And like, so again, it's just that like you can't really, whether you like a place or not, I mean, you can say, for me at least, I can try to judge it based on like how many buildings are there and what it looks like on the outside. But honestly, anywhere I go, if I meet people and make friends with people, that's going to really affect how my opinion of the place. And, for me, I'm in a place right now where we've talked about this somewhat before, but it's just too expensive. I don't feel like I have the freedom to take a day off and to go just do anything or interact with anyone. I love covering news. I love covering news as much as possible and doing other streams. But at the same time, I don't interact with anyone pretty much. I never do. And I feel bad about doing it. One reason is just the cost of living. So I would really like to live at a place with a lower cost of living, so I didn't feel guilty about doing something for 4 hours and socializing with other human beings. That'd be good. So that's one of the things I'm thinking of. And so I'm not going to pretend I can really judge Chattanooga. I'm guessing most places I could live. I could have a perfectly good time. So, but there's these basic convenience things like I do kind of need to live close to grocery store and other things because I need to get back here if there's breaking news. It's just the way it is. I used to live in a suburb in Atlanta and it was far away from stuff. It didn't work well. So I like the convenience of having things close. That's just so I can cover news and get on the air quickly if I need to. All right, I'm going to catch up on some comments. So anyways, I'm thinking of going to Chattanooga tomorrow to just look around. All right. Hey, first of all, Bug Wins says, you will know. Hey, thank you, Bug Wins, for your support. That's very kind of you. Oh, thank you also to, hold on. I want to get to a bunch of your comments. Thanks. First of all, thank you, Rita's Real. Rita's Real says you may be able to free your head up about getting away by calling it a business trip. You're looking at your potential new office space. That's true. I actually, unlike last year, I went to look in Chattanooga last year for like 2 hours. And I didn't even stay because I was so anxious about missing news. I didn't even stay for lunch. I looked at a couple places in the morning and I drove back before I ate because I was in this mindset, I can't miss a day of work. But remember last year when I went to Chattanooga for like 2 hours, I didn't have this channel. I only had the news channel. So now I know I can go tomorrow. If I go to Chattanooga, I'm planning on doing a live stream from there at some point. So I'm not, and also, it's just, I have more freedom. This channel gives me more freedom to do different types of content. And I'm not so tied to a news story. Before this channel, and I was just covering news, I felt like there might be one big news story every 3 days, and I have to be around to cover it. But now I know I can do other kinds of programming. So it's a little more freedom. So unlike last year, I am planning on seeing more of what's there, not being anxious the whole time I'm there. But I am planning on doing a stream. Thank you, Rita. Thank you, John Paul Mahofsky again. Thank you, John Paul, for your support. John Paul says the name Chattanooga comes from the Creek Indian word for rock coming to a point. I really should do more reading like John Paul about the origins of Chattanooga and the history. Thanks. I want to read some more comments by you. Michael Margulis, by the way, thank you. Take out food money. That's very kind of you, Michael Margulis. You have to explore your possibilities. Me the Bat says, go wherever your heart feels at home. More gas money. Thank you. That's very kind of you guys. Thank you. You basically bought my gas. I appreciate that very much. Thank you, Me the Bat. And thanks for the encouragement. All right, I want to read some more comments here. Nicole, I have only been in Chattanooga for a couple hours. Orlando, I have been not the part of Orlando I'm thinking of going to. So I'm not going to move anywhere without visiting. My plan is, if a place in Orlando comes up that I think might be good, I'm planning on going down there and looking around. I'm not taking a place before visiting the place. Let's see here. Bev says you need to do this for yourself and you need some downtime. Yeah, I don't think taking a day off, it's not even taking a day off, would be the worst thing. But just taking, it's a different thing though, because there's some days I don't do a stream on Agenda Free TV. Yesterday I didn't do a stream on Agenda Free TV. There wasn't a story that I felt I wanted to cover on Agenda Free TV yesterday. But even the days I am off, I'm on call. So the days I don't do a story on Agenda Free TV, I'm checking the news all day. I'm keeping up with things. and I'm ready to go on the air at a moment's notice. Yesterday was rare. I never do what I did yesterday. Yesterday I actually drove 15 minutes somewhere else and just said, well, if I miss a news story, I miss a news story, which I never do because I'm always worried about missing news stories. So now I did do a stream on the Lookner channel yesterday to do that, but I never do it. I've been living here for 2 years. I've never been to Emory University. It's 15 minutes away. So the difference tomorrow will be if I go to Chattanooga tomorrow, I'm just saying, okay, I'm committing to not covering news today, which is a big deal for me, which I never do. James says Orlando is expensive. Oh, well, it's cheaper than where I am now in Atlanta. It's a little more expensive than Chattanooga, but it depends on what you get though. Chill Vibe says check out Cleveland, Tennessee. Very nice and lovely people. I just don't know, off the top of my head, I don't know if that's going to have enough stuff around in a close proximity for me. Fregio says definitely need to be around other people. Also, it's good for me to be somewhere where if I'm going to hang out with other people, I don't have to drive 20 minutes to do it. Because even if I go hang out with other people, I want to be able to some big breaking news to get back home and cover news. So it's better to be somewhere a little more densely populated. Let's see. Stephen George says, I don't think you'd like interacting with Floridians? Boy, that's a broad brush, Stephen George. Tink says Chattanooga is so cheap, so it would be a nicer apartment. Well, the thing is, so I'm looking, it's a little weird because I'm looking for a house. I'm not looking for an apartment. So what my take on things is if I were in Chattanooga, you can get there's not, the other problem is there's not many small houses. I wish there were more 2-bedroom houses. It's very hard to find 2-bedroom houses. I could even use a 1-bedroom house. That's fine, 1 or 2-bedroom house. Most houses are 3 bedrooms or more in the places I'm looking. So, if Chattanooga had 2-bedroom houses, it'd be significantly cheaper than Orlando. The problem is that it's mostly 3-bedroom houses. But yeah, I mean, overall Chattanooga, I'd probably get an extra room in my house for the same price. But where I'd really save money in a place like Chattanooga is if they had a 2-bedroom house, but there's not many of those. Oh, thank you, Darian, for gas money. Oh, for a road trip. Oh, gas money. Thank you, Darian. That's very kind of you. I appreciate that. Thank you, James Lang from Canada. Thank you. And Rosemary gave me some. I might get premium gas now. Super premium. Thank you, Rosemary Hill. That's very kind of you. I appreciate it. It's me, Emily says Orlando is a lot of driving. Chattanooga, not if you live in the right area. Well, I don't think I'd be driving that much. Probably more though. I mean, Chattanooga is small. It's not big, so But there's fewer restaurants in Chattanooga than there are in Orlando, and I don't like Chattanooga has all these fancy places. That's not really for me. So I wouldn't be someone who takes advantage of the foodie scene. I'm not really a foodie person. So a downside of Chattanooga, there's no Chipotle, that kind of thing. There's a burrito place, but there's way less choice in terms of restaurants, casual places in Chattanooga than Orlando. Let's see. Oh, Pinochet, thank you, Pinochet. Pinochet says, think of all the cool rocket launches you could see in Florida. I've heard about that. Thank you, Pinochet, for your support. Oh, and thank you also, John Paul Mahosky. That's really kind of you, John Paul, who says Chattanooga Bakery was founded in the early 1900s, and in 1917, the famous moon pie was created. I did not know that. Thank you, John Paul. Much appreciated. Nick Brown thinks I love Chattanooga. Xander says, watch some of the local news channels online to get a feel for what a city's like. That's interesting. That's an interesting suggestion, Xander. Allison says, a new house or an older one. It doesn't have to be new or old. It just should be something. I don't want to go to some place that's falling apart. I need to go somewhere where the house is reliable. It doesn't really help me if it's not. Let's see here. Dog Lounge, I can't go to St. Pete. They don't have the right internet. I looked at St. Pete. It was interesting to me. They don't have the right internet. Singing for the Creator says Florida rocks. Okay, so again, I know people want to suggest other cities. We're not doing other cities right now. Guys, at a certain point, there's a million. I mean, I could investigate all these different cities. I have to narrow it down. So the focus at this point is, do I go to Chattanooga tomorrow to visit? That's the focus right now. Kenny says, check to see the COVID stats. They have had some cases in Chattanooga. They have. I was looking at that. I don't believe it's as bad as Florida, but yeah, I mean, that's certainly a concern. It's a concern in a lot of places. Somebody was saying to me recently, they were like, it's gonna be everywhere. Weather Woman says parking downtown Chattanooga is horrible. Well, I'm not looking to live in downtown Chattanooga, even if I did live there, because there's not really houses there. Ben says my cousins live in Chattanooga. Renting, Sharon, renting. I'm not buying anything. Not buying anything. Another nice thing about Chattanooga is I can go and drive there and look. See, something that makes this situation difficult is with the virus, I'm not flying anywhere to look. So I'm not getting on a plane. And then if you're like, well, somebody said, like some people are saying Arizona. So first of all, I want to be on the Eastern time zone just to make it, I don't want to have to wake up earlier than I already do to cover news. But second of all, so Arizona, so I'm going to drive to Phoenix, and then, which I don't know how long that takes, and then where am I going to stay? You know, and it's like it gets crazy. So, but you just got to narrow it down. I mean, I could drive to a million cities. But the nice thing about Chattanooga is that it's only 2 hours away, so it's easy to go look. And also, they have this amazing internet citywide, so I don't have to worry about that nonsense. Because most cities, you have to, like, every single apartment you look, every single house you look up, you have to search online and say, you have to go to the AT&T fiber address checker and type in the address and see if they have fiber, and most of them don't. Hey, Tom O'Neill likes Chattanooga. Good to see you, Tom. I hope you're well. But again, I'm not trying to decide yet whether to move to Chattanooga. I'm just trying to decide whether to take tomorrow and drive there and look around to get a feel for the neighborhood and check out a couple places. That's all I'm trying to figure out. It's not my number one choice of place to move. I'm only figuring out, should I go to Chattanooga tomorrow? That's all I'm figuring out. That's it. Kimberly Ann says, go check it out. June Hart says, yes. James says, go then. Angie says, go. Ados says, go. Guys, give me 1 second. This is odd. Let's see here. Hey guys, this is weird. I don't know if I can do this. So, I think my mom just called, and I don't think it's anything important, but I kind of need to like figure out why my mom just called. So, I wonder if I can call my mom and put the stream on hold. I don't know if I can do that. Because I'm holding the phone. So, but I'm wondering if I can put the stream on hold and call her. Can I call my mom from my iPad? I don't think I can. Can I? How can I do this? How can I call? So I have my phone in my hand. You're watching me on my phone. Yeah, the reason it did that is because the phone was. Hold on a second here. Yeah, that's the reason it froze. Text now. Resume it when you're done. FaceTime on iPad. My mom doesn't FaceTime. My iPad doesn't have cell service. No, I'm going to call my mother. I'm calling her right now. I'm just trying to figure out, can I do it without ending the stream? I'm calling her right now. I'm just trying to figure out, can I do this without ending the stream? I might have to end the stream, or it might just pause. Okay, yeah, I don't know if I can do this. I think I might have to, because I'm literally on the phone. I don't know that there's any way I can do this. Let's see. No, I can't switch this to the iPad. Let's see. No, I'm calling her. I am calling her. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to do it. All right, so I think what I'm going to do, guys. Yeah, guys, please stop with the end it, please. Guys, for the last time, I'm calling my mom. Stop lecturing me to call my mom. I've said 5 times in a row I'm calling my mom. So enough of the lecturing. Seriously, guys. Really? Come on. Seriously? I don't know how many times I've had to say it. Are you listening to what I'm saying? Gosh, I'm sorry. It's just really, I'm sorry. It's just super annoying that I say 5 times I'm calling my mom now and people are like, Steve, please end and call your mom. Gosh. Ridiculous. Okay. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to call her back and then we'll do the stream. I'm guessing, knowing my mom, it's something very minor. It might be like something with a computer or something. But let me call her. I'm going to end this stream and then I'll start the stream in like 10 minutes or whatever again, okay? So this stream, we'll be back in about 10 minutes. Hold on a second. Hold on. I'm telling you guys, some of you getting ready to get hidden. This channel should be fun. This is a fun channel. If you can't keep it fun in the chat, I'm going to hide you. I don't care who you are. Seriously. Go somewhere else. Trolling, this is not a channel for trolls. All right, it's probably buffering because of this. Don't worry about it. All right, I'm wrapping up the stream. I'm gonna come back on in like 10 minutes, and we'll continue the stream. Okay. All right, so guys, I'll see you in about 10 minutes. Right back here. I'll post the link to the new stream as soon as it comes up. All right, see you in 10 minutes.